Hello friends, my name is Omkar Gaikwad. I am a student of Baramati College of Pharmacy. Today I am discussing a subject pharmaceutical engineering under the guidance of subject teacher Mr. Krishna Bavkar sir. So before starting the today's video, I want to say please hit the big fat like button and subscribe this channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss our new updates. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into today's negotiation. So today's my chapter is size reduction. Under this chapter, my subtopic is hammer mill. The several points covered in this hammer mill are introduction, principle, diagram, construction, working, application, advantages and disadvantages. Before moving those points, we have to know what is the size reduction. So here is the definition of size reduction. The size reduction is the process of reducing large solid unit or substances into smaller unit masses, coarse particles or fine particles. Size reduction process is also termed as comminution or diminution or pulverization. So basically the size reduction means converting the larger particles into the smaller ones. But due to the time restriction, I am not going to discuss more about the size reduction, but there is already a video present on the same channel on the size reduction. If you want to see that video, I will provide a link in description box of this video. You can see the diagram present at the right side of this slide. So now my today's topic is hammer mill. So what is hammer mill? So the hammer mill is the most widely used grinding mill, and among the oldest hammer mill consists of a series of hammers, usually 4 or more, hinged on a central shaft and enclosed within a rigid metal case. It produces size reduction by impact. So basically as we move towards the historical background of a hammer mill, so the first hammer mill was invented by the Chinese mathematician and engineer Zhu Kongzi in 488 AD. So that hammer mill is operated on the power of flow of waters. So after the introduction, let's move towards the principle of hammer mill. So the basic principle of hammer mill is straightforward. The hammer mill operates on the principle of impact between rapidly moving hammers mounted on a roster and the powder material. It contains a vertical or horizontal rotating shaft on which hammers are mounted. The material is hammered and shredded and then expelled through screen in the drum of selected size. So as per the above discussion, the principle is simple. When the hammer collides on the coarse particles or coarse material, they produces an heavy impact, and due to this impact the coarse particles are shredded. For better understanding of principle, let's check out this video. You can see the coarse particles are shredded with the help of these sharp hammers. This is the top view of this video clip. So next is a diagram. So you can see the diagram of a hammer mill. There is a hopper from which the coarse material is fed. Then the material passed towards the central assembly of hammer mill. In the central assembly there is a shaft, milling chamber, hammers, and at the bottom of this assembly there is a sieve or screen which is used to screening the minute particles and separating them from the coarse particles. And finally there is a receiver is present at the bottom, so it can receive the finer particles. So this is the picture of how the hammer mill actually look alike. So those types of hammer mills are seen in the industries. So now let's move towards the construction. So the construction of hammer mill. The hammer mill can be either vertical shaft or horizontal shaft type. Mill contains hammers made up of steel and impact surface made up of extremely abrasive material like hystellite and crenelli. Hammers are of two basic shapes. First one is bar shaped, second one is strip shaped. So the two types of hammers are according to their use. For example, so bar shaped hammers used to break the brittle material or soft material, and strip shaped hammers are used to break the sticky and non-brittle material. So the next point is the edges of hammers may be flat, sharp, or of both types. Hammer may be rigid or swing type, in which free swing type hammer having more advantages. Hammers are connected to a shaft which can be rotated with the help of electric motor. All assembly is enclosed in a contains a removable screen, so the material should pass. Screen is made up of metal sheet of various thickness and perforated holes. The mill having a broad hopper from which we can insert the material for size reduction. So the construction is very basic. So the construction contains a rotatory wheel which is surrounded by several hammers, and that wheel rotates with the help of an electric motor. Above that wheel there is a hopper which is used for feeding material, and a sieve is present at the bottom for screening the particles. So after the construction, let's move toward working principle of hammer mill. So the working in hammer mill, the working principle is very easy, and it is as follows. The first, we have to feed material from the hopper. So this material is travel first vertically and then horizontally to reach the main chamber which contains hammers. The hammers are in continuous motion with near about 8,000 to 15,000 rotations per minute. So the material collides on rotating hammers and convert into finer particles. The hammers are surrounded with screen having pores, so particles which we got after action of hammers, those particles are filtered. Here screen plays an important role because thickness of screen and speed of particle passing through screen influence size reduction as per in figure. So the working principle is also easy. The working is simple. Coarse particles comes through hopper and then shredded by hammers and converted into smaller particles and then received in receiver. For better understanding of working, let's check out a video clip. So here is a simple hammer mill. This is the side view. You can see that now the hopper is fed with the coarse material. And then they are shredded into the smaller particles. So the next point is advantages. So now there are only 3 points are remaining, that is advantages, disadvantages and the applications of hammer mills. I don't think that you have to understand those points. You just have to remember or memorize those points and write as it is in exam, and that is more than sufficient. So let's tackle one by one. So the hammer mill advantages are: it produces specified top size without the need for closed circuit crushing system. It produces relatively numerous size distribution with a minimum of lines due to self classification. It has a high reduction ratio and high capacity, whether used for primary, secondary or tertiary grinding. Relative reasonable energy requirement. Brittle material are best fractured by impact of blunt hammers. It is capable of grinding many different types of materials. The machine is easy to install and operate, and its operation is continuous. It occupies small space. It is easy to maintain and clean. It is inexpensive. Its ease of manufacturing is easy. So there are 5 disadvantages also. Let's tackle one by one. So this hammer mill is not recommended for the fine grinding or very hard and abrasive material due to excessive wear. Not suitable for low melting sticky or plastic like material. The mill may be choked if the feed rate is not controlled, leading to damage. Presence of foreign material like stone or metals which finds its way into the material due to inadequate gambling process. There is a possibility of clogging or blocking of screen. So here are some disadvantages of hammer mill. So now let's move towards its applications or uses. So here are some application or uses of the hammer mill. It is used in pharmaceutical industries to process wet or dry granulation and disperse powder mixtures. It is used in milling pharmaceutical raw materials, herbal medicines and sugar. It is used in powdering of barks, leaves and roots of medicinal plants, and also it is used on the milling of active pharmaceutical ingredients, that is API recipients. But nowadays there are several modified versions of the hammer mills are present in market. So I will share an example of new hammer mill. So this is a double rotor hammer crusher mill. It contains 2 shafts and 2 pairs of hammers. You can see in video.